You are entering a location next to a designated zone across the street from an area called Time, Space, and Alternate Reality. You may find yourself asking questions like, where did he acquire such a cool power-up? How do I get to that secret bonus level? And when will they release a new nifty hat for me? There are many of these questions, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as we can, as Aperture Gaming is proud to present the DLC Zone. Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it. We test it. You play it. On today's episode of the DLC Zone, we review the second story-based DLC for the video game Dishonored. The first one was The Knife of Dunwall. This one is the Brigmore Witches. In honor of the Dishonored DLC, I am wearing my Mark of the Outsider Pendant. If you want one for yourself, check out the Bethesda online shop and pick one up for yourself. And now on to the DLC review. It is recommended that you purchase the Knife of Dunwall DLC before the Brigmore Witches, because all your notoriety, your money, bone charms, and powers will transfer over into the Brigmore Witches. And since it is a two-part story DLC, it would make more sense instead of just going in there with only the second part of a two-part DLC. Alright. Now, both DLCs, they both had a great story. I loved especially how, since this is the second one, it was the conclusion and it wrapped up everything nicely. I like how they both interacted with the main story, how with Corvo off doing his missions, with Dodd, he had to take care of his own conspiracy, and the story was great. I loved the plot, I loved the writing. It was a really well done story. Very good in detail, and you had to read some stuff because it made you think, and you had to realize, what is going on here? I will not spoil the ending, but I will tell you this. Based on your actions from both DLCs, and I'm pretty sure there's a little influence from the main story also, depends on how the story ends. And if you've played Dishonored before, you know that there is the good ending and the bad ending. So play at your own risk, and make sure to try a couple of experiments to see how you want to play and what works for you. There were several new things that they brought to this game, and they also updated some old things from the main game, which I liked. Like they have corrupted bone charms in this DLC. These bone charms, like their predecessors, they also give out great abilities, but unfortunately these ones have a cost. Like if you use this bone charm, it will make your sword strikes more powerful, but they will be slower. Or if you use this one, it'll help you with your mana, but it doesn't recover as fast, or it doesn't recover at all. So it's a catch-22 with these corrupted bone charms. Another thing I liked was how, now unfortunately there was only 3 missions for this game, it's like its predecessor, but what it lacked in mission amounts, it made up for in world size. Each mission had very huge interactive worlds with a lot of guards, a lot of money, a lot of books and papers to read, and it was just interesting to explore and figure out which way you want to approach your target, and if you want to either go through slicing and dicing and shooting, or if you could find a way to stealth around to your content. 2 of these 3 worlds were made completely new for this DLC, and they look very great. I love the way the art team came up with these. Way to go, guys. Oh, and I also liked for the 3rd world, actually they took one of the worlds, one of the missions from the main game, and they made it bigger. They added more stuff to it, made it bigger, more interactive stuff, and since you had your powers, that made it a little more interesting and funner to traverse as a Dodd. So yeah, it was really great. And a very good story, very good ending. There was only one issue I could find. For this DLC, like its predecessor, you could pay for favors, like have a bone charm left here, weapons cache left over there, or speak to an informant. I paid to speak to an informant, and for some reason, every time I got near the informant, they perceived me as a threat and proceeded to attack me. Now this is either a game glitch, or I did something earlier, or I must have done something in the game to cause them to now perceive me as a threat, but not directly to them. Like I just went up to them, tried to talk to them, and they were like, "It's Dawn, attack!" So yeah, yeah, if you encounter this problem, let me know, or let the Bethesda people know and see if they can have it corrected. Yeah, so... Oh, they also, along with the new worlds, the new powers, and the new bone charms, there were two new sets of villains, or baddies for you to fight, and I liked how these were presented. They have their abilities, strengths, and weaknesses, and you gotta figure out just the right way to approach these targets, because you can't take them out, because one of them requires very special means of destruction, and the other one, well, Corvo had to deal with the assassins, and since Dodd is an assassin, can't fight his own people, he encounters his own very unique batch of villains, and with their powers. And speaking of powers, for this DLC they include a power that's very reminiscent of Star Wars and the X-Men movies. You get like this force ability where, when you first get it, you can grab stuff from a distance, like whale oil tanks, bottles, pouches, keys, food, health elixirs. It's pretty awesome. It's good to have. It's good to have if you want to like just reach something from a distance and not alert anybody. And when you upgrade it, you can actually grab people, both living and dead, to use to whatever mannerisms you see fit. Like you need to drop a body somewhere if you want to bring someone in close to finish them off once and for all in a very surprising manner. So yes, overall I am very satisfied with this DLC. It was short in chapters, and it had that one little bug, but overall the rest of it was just great. So we, at Aperture Labs, give the Brigmore Witches a 9.5 out of 10. This was a very good DLC. I highly recommend it, and it's also, like I said, get the Knife of Dunwall first before you get this one. It was really great. So this is, yeah, we got Dishonored, and then we got an entirely new two-part game. It was like two games all wrapped up into one, and I liked it. If they find any ways to further expand on this, like with more DLCs that are story-based, or if there's going to be a Dishonored 2 or a Dishonored prequel, I would look forward to seeing that and seeing how it plays out. I'd especially like to find out more about the Outsider and several other powers and abilities in this game. Alright, so that is our review of the Brigmore Witches. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337 for Aperture Gaming, and this has been the DLC Zone. Thank you and have a good night.